All right, thank you very, very much. My name is Adam Realman Direct from Coney Island, and what I'd like to do for you today is consider the single most daring act of a sideshow anywhere, and that is the art known as sword swallowing. Now, believe it or not, a lot of people think that the swords that sword swallowers swallow are fake, that they just collapse up into the handle. I'm here to prove to you once and for all that what you see is what you get. Now, believe it or not, I teach sword swallowing out at the Coney Island Sideshow School. Now, if you're interested and you're over 18, you can get in touch with me after the show. But that said, everybody here today is going to get a free lesson on how to swallow a sword. I would not recommend trying this at home based on this brief little lesson, but you'll get the idea as to where the swords go. Now, in order to swallow a sword, you need two things: mind and body control. Everybody's got what's called a gag reflex, and that's your body's way of telling you you're putting something down your throat that you shouldn't be. And I'm talking about a sword right here. Then there's the mind control. You got to convince yourself that swallowing a sword of any size is an okay thing to do. Now, I'm doing this for the better part of 20 years already. Mind control, it's easy. It's the gag reflex that sometimes trips me up. So after I swallow this and something else comes up and blocks the camera lens, I'll try to clean that off as quickly as possible, and we'll get on with the show, if you know what I'm saying. So right now, let's see if I can get the first sword all the way down. Yeah. All right. Woo. I'll take some applause on that, even though I can't really hear your applause. I'll certainly take them. Now, that said, what I do like to do, that's my warm-up sword. I like to make sure that I actually can do this on this beautiful afternoon. What I'd like to do for you right now is something a little bit bigger, a little bit more daring, a little bit more dangerous, and that here is this sword. Now, this sword measures in at 23 inches of steel. It's just a hair under 2 feet of solid steel. But because of the handle over here, because of this ornate handle, it makes the sword a little bit more dangerous because it's a lot heavier when it goes down. Of course, if I'm not careful, well, let's just say I have to be careful. Now, it would normally be with this sword if we were in a live situation here, where I would call someone up from the audience and have them grab the handle of the sword and extract it from deep within me. I can't do that now. I only have 2 cats running around the house, and they don't have the opposable thumbs needed to pull the sword out. So I'll do it myself. So here we go, the second sword going all the way down. Yeah. All right. Now, of course, performing at home is not nearly as much fun as it is performing in front of a live audience there, where I have the interaction, where I can actually have someone pull that sword out from deep within me. Of course, performing from my sofa is kind of good too. So that said, friends, what I would like to do for you right now is the single most daring sword that I swallow. This sword right over here measures in at 27.5 inches of solid steel. I gotta hold this pretty far back so you can see the entire thing from the point all the way to the handle right over there. 27.5 inches of solid steel. Now, before I swallow this, I'd like to give you yet another lesson on how to swallow a sword. Of course, this here, if we have any doctors, nurses, EMTs, medical professionals who are watching the show today, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is the path that the swords take as they go down into my system. You see, the sword goes into my mouth, into my throat, which you can't really see because of this luxurious COVID beard right here, into my throat, where there's a little trap door that separates the digestive tract, where your food goes, and the respiratory tract, how you breathe. Now, this little trapdoor called the epiglottis opens up and allows the sword all the way down into the esophagus. Now, a lot of people ask me, Adam, what does it feel like to swallow a sword? Well, I can't really explain what it feels like, but I can give all of you a little experiment to try at home. Not with a sword, though, but with peanut butter. And not if you're allergic to peanut butter. Now, here's what you do. You grab a big spoonful of peanut butter. No jam, no jelly, no honey, just peanut butter. And lick it right off the spoon. Now, you'll feel that peanut butter slowly moving down your esophagus, which is that food tube, which is the same tube that the sword goes down. Now, of course, the peanut butter, well, really, the sword is not nearly as soft or as tasty as the peanut butter, but you'll get the idea as to where it's going. Now, it stops right around here where there's another little valve that opens up and allows the point of the sword into the stomach. Now, the point of the sword is going to touch the bottom of my stomach approximately right over there. It's good I wore pants during this show today. Woo, okay. And of course, the point of the sword is going to rest on the bottom of my stomach approximately right over here. Now, at any point during the act, if I were to push that sword down with any amount of force, I would certainly pop the bottom of my stomach, causing internal bleeding. It would not be pretty. Of course, it is October Halloween season, but it still would not be pretty. If I continue pushing that sword down, well, you know what would happen? I'd probably rip through my pants, and that's not a good thing, even if I am at home. So right now, let's see if I can get 27.5 inches of solid steel down the hatch without a scratch. Yeah, my friends, thank you very, very much. That is how we do it in Coney Island. My name's Adam Realman, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.